Hi, I'm Jessica, a librarian from Washington State. Did you know that in January 2012, under House Bill 2281, Arizona politicians removed books from students and teachers in the Mexican American Studies program in the Unified School District of Tucson, Arizona? On the list of books removed from the classrooms was the book 10 Little Indians by local Native American author Sherman Alexie. Today, I'm going to read a passage from a short story entitled The Search Engine from Sherman Alexie's 10 Little Indians. After reading this passage, I will read author Sherman Alexie's response to the banning of his books in the Unified School District of Tucson, Arizona. Back in Spokane, Washington, Corliss had attended Spokane River High School, which had contained a Mirage library. Sure, the books had looked like Dickens and Dickinson from a distance, but they turned into cookbooks and auto repair manuals when you picked them up. As a poor kid and a middle-class Indian, she seemed destined for a minimum wage life of waiting tables or changing oil. But she had wanted a maximum life, an original Aboriginal life. So she had fought her way out of the underfunded public school into the underfunded public college. So maybe, despite American racism, sexism, and classism, Corliss's biography confirmed everything nearly wonderful and partially meritorious about her country. Ever the rugged individual, she'd collected aluminum cans during the summer before her junior year of high school so she could afford the year-long SAT prep course that had astronomically raised her scores and won her a dozen academic scholarships. At the beginning of every semester, Corliss had called the history and English teachers at the local prep school she couldn't afford and asked what books they would be reading in class. And she had found those books and lived with them like siblings. And those same teachers, good white people whose whiteness and goodness blended and separated, had faxed her study guides and copies of her best student papers. Two of those teachers, without having met Corliss in person, had sent her graduation gifts and money and yet more books. She had been a resourceful thief, a narcissistic Robin Hood who stole a rich education from white people and kept it. In the Washington State University Library, her version of Sherwood Forest, Corliss walked the poetry stacks. She endured a contentious and passionate relationship with this library. The huge number of books confirmed how much magic she'd been denied for most of her life, and how she hungrily wanted to read every book on every shelf. An impossible task, to be sure, Herculean in its exaggeration. But Corliss wanted to read herself to death. She wanted to be buried in a coffin filled with used paperbacks. And this was Sherman Alexie's response when his book was banned in Tucson. Let's get one thing out of the way. Mexican immigration is an oxymoron. Mexicans are indigenous. So in a strange way, I'm pleased that the racist folks of Arizona have officially declared, in banning me alongside Urrea, Baca, and Castillo, that their anti-immigration laws are also anti-Indian. I'm also strangely pleased that the folks of Arizona have officially announced that their fear of an educated underclass. You give those brown kids some books about brown folks and what happens? Those brown kids change the world. In the effort to banish our books, Arizona has actually given them enormous power. Arizona has made our books sacred documents now. Thank you.